Hello and welcome to Head and Shoulders, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. And today we'll be covering how Elaine Thompson-Herah got over her self-confidence issues, or at least the pressure of where it was at the championship level. Because yeah, she performed at the Olympics, but there are a lot of people trying to rewrite history to say that the world championships don't count. If that's the case, then many people should just stop trash talking other people when they don't get world championship medals. That means Shelly Ann Fraser Price's world championship medals really didn't count. Only her two Olympic golds did, and all of this and everything else. So there's a lot of people coming out the woodwork. Some of you all, because I seen your screen names, I seen the comments where you were all trash talking Elaine Thompson-Herah, and now you're on her side. Look, I'm here and I've been objective, and I said things as they were. I started to change sometime in the season, but I overall kept that if she could get over her mental issue, then here it is. And I got the proof. I got the proof. But first, let's take a look at this. Smash that like button. Subscribe. We're looking for, you already know how many. So we're trying to get to 10,000 ASAP. But we're going to look at other athletes before we get there. I got 5 other athletes. Then we're going to go to the proof of Elaine Thompson-Herah. Here's arguably one of the greatest distance runners of all time on the men's side. He has set world records time and time again. As you can see, he set over 15 world records from 2,000 meters all the way up to 10,000 meters. All right. And that was over this period of time. This dude set over 108 records, I think, maybe it was 120 records for Ethiopia. And then it was a total of 34 world records altogether. But anyway, let's scroll up here. He was injured. Let's get right to it. He had on his right foot, he had an Achilles tendon injury right here. Now, the Sydney Olympics 10,000 meter champion, he had an Achilles tendon injury, right? That was in 2000, Sydney Olympics. He also was injured at the Atlanta Olympics. And what happened? Well, he was a 10,000 meter champion. He had an ankle injury, and he had bloody feet with blisters on it. All right, here it is. His feet bloodied from blisters sustained during the race. All right. And this was also at the World Championships. All right. It said his 4th consecutive world title. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Oh, Shelly Ann Fraser Price, the way she kept getting the world titles in between. All right. Now, he had an injury. 10,000 meters, 5,000 meters. He had to come by. He finished the line first. All right. You're going to say, oh, wait a minute. That's a distance runner. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. And Achilles tendon is still going to affect people. Here's Michael Johnson. Remember in 1996, the Atlanta Olympics? Oh, let's not forget. He suffered a hamstring. It says it right here. Suffered a hamstring injury during the 200-meter final. So other people were like, well, McPherson, she got injured during the middle. Well, hey, she got injured. She couldn't go all the way through, but she finished, right? I wouldn't define that she choked in that performance, because choking is that you have certain expectations. You've shown those expectations, especially during most of the year, and then you come in the final and then you blow up. She blew up in the final a little bit more. I think she ran her semifinal a little bit. So she ran through her injury that she had. But here's another athlete. We could have brought in McPherson. She came in, she did the best she could. She wound up getting a 4th. All right. Now, he had a hamstring injury. He slipped out of the blocks. And the most that people said here was slandering this dude. All right, I'm going to need you to get off the channel if that's what you're going to do. Like literally, I'll remove you myself if necessary. They're going to slander the dude. He slipped out the blocks. Well, that was a questionable performance, ignoring the whole thing. Y'all just want attention. From now on, I'm not going to give you attention here. Let's go ahead. Now, I'm just giving you guys the facts here, right? I'm giving you guys the facts. He suffered an injury. Also, it says, but while he did win gold, Sydney Olympics 2000, at 33 years, 12 days old, he suffered an injury in the 200 final that prevented him from successfully defending his title. So he had an injury that he ran with in the 400, But unfortunately, the injury was so bad for the 200, he couldn't defend his title. Oh my goodness. Here's another guy. He won in the 400. So the injury got him. All right. Let's go over to somebody else now. So that means he had a hamstring injury. I don't know what the injury it was here. That at this point it's not too important. Maybe it's implied that he had another hamstring injury again, because he actually suffered through hamstring injuries a lot. Remember that race off between him and Maurice Green? They both pulled up or whatever. Or I know he had multiple race offs. Somebody's probably going to correct me in the comment section. Then it's going to be 3 people not reading the comments. Notice that somebody did. But anyway, so he had 2 injuries. Here is the person, one of the people you all love to hate, because it's either Allison Felix or Shanae Miller-Weibo. So Allison Felix, remember, she couldn't make it out of the 200-meter trials because she had an injury. But then she made it in the 400. Remember what happened with the 400? Oh, yeah, that's right. She got a silver medal behind the person you all love to hate. So if you like Allison Felix, you most likely hate Shanae Miller-Weibo for whatever reasons. Now, there's some people here that are reasonable. I'm not talking to you all. I'm talking to the ones that just like, hey, I like this athlete, and anything another athlete does. This applies to anybody. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, Elaine Thompson-Herah, Safa Powell, Marion Jones. If you just like an athlete, you so blindly in love with that athlete that doesn't even know you from a grain of salt, well, you start trying to show that with everything else. But here, remember Allison Felix, she had an injury. Oh, wait a minute. What was the injury that she had? She had an ankle injury. Oh, yeah. Remember in Moscow, she had pulled up with a hamstring injury or something like that. She had actually still had that same injury. If you want me to leave you this USA Today article, I'm trying to make this one shorter. I'll drop that here. Now, who else had an injury? This is this year. Shanae Miller-Weibo. She had an injury. Taped up. You saw her in the final in the 400, taped up all over her leg and everything. She had a lot, quote unquote, a lot of different injuries. All right, we can go into detail about what those were and everything. Hopefully she can come and do an interview. I love to have Allison Felix and everybody here. Richardson, all types of people. I love to have them and actually ask them a little bit different questions about what they were doing with their training. If we could get those people on here, that would be great. If not, we're just going to talk about them from the bird's eye perspective from a distance. So she had a whole bunch of injuries, and yet she ran a PR. Where is her PR? Oh, yeah, 48.36, barely a hundredth of a second PR, but she ran a PR with a whole bunch of different injuries. Wow. Now, here's the proof. Let's give the proof that Elaine Thompson-Herah, the pressure got to her and that she got over it. It's going to come out of Elaine Thompson-Herah's mouth. All right. The title is Shocker from the Jamaican Observer. I can leave this link for you all too in the description. All you got to do is request it, and then I'll put it there. So, and check the description before you make the comment, because you might see it and then it's like 20 comments to the same thing. I'm just not going to reply to all of them. If one person had did it, I'm just going to put it there. Matter of fact, I'm just going to put it there in the comment section anyway. But anyway, so where does it say? She had clocked, Thompson had clocked 10.98, double Olympic champion, 10.98, the same time Ahore of the Ivory Coast in 4th. Bowie won in 10.85. All right. Now, Skippers winded up getting a bronze in 10.96. Now, they said a serene looking, so I'm going to read this for you. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit. All right, let's zoom in here. Some people may not be able to see that. Let's zoom in. All right. All right, you can't see the left side, but I'm going to read this for you. A serene-looking Thompson, who is said to have vomited before the semifinal, cruised home in 10.84 to reach the final. Now, with that time, with her cruising, remember, she looked smooth, buttery smooth, just like she did this year. And she ran a 10.84. Remember, Coach Francis also said she was in the shape of her life during that time, too. Okay, at that point, she looked on course to challenge her national record of 10.70. Now, remember, it should have been her co-national record, just like how the African record is not just by Talu, is actually Ahore. They got the exact same time. But, hey, regardless. Now, Talu's time was better because it was a headwind, but, hey. But things didn't go according to plan, and Thompson struggled home while producing a pedestrian time by her standards. Yes, it was. Although admitting to vomiting before the final. So that means the semifinal, she vomited from nerves, and in the final, she vomited. She said that wasn't the cause of her demise. And then the reporter said, did you have a stomach ache in that race? Thompson was asked in the mixed zone. She said, quote, no, I did not. I actually threw up before out there. So I wouldn't say that affected the race. All right. She had a season best of 10-7. They said, has it ever happened before at a major championship? She said, yes. I have, quote, yes. I have been working hard through the rounds. I wouldn't say the stomach affected me. All right. All right. Now, all of you are saying, Head and Shoulders, ATR, where's the proof? All right. I'm getting close to it. Thompson was asked how close before the race she vomited. And she said a few minutes before going to the call room. We are all human beings. Oh, that sounds like this year. Oh, it looks like nobody was saying we're human with her. There was no hashtag we're all humans or I am human like they had with Miss Biles. But anyway, we do it in training. But she said, now that was the end of her quote. But having dominated her fellow athletes all season, the inquest continued as to the reason for her demise. All right. Here she is. Here's the answer where she said out of her mouth, quote, I am walking fine. My hamstring is great. Disappointment will make you work harder. All right. She also had to refute claims of complacency. She said, quote, I have to give the girls credit because I have been racing them all season, and it was a tough field out there, even though I was the favorite. All right. There she is. She said, she continued, quote, but I am disappointed and happy as well because I am healthy. Let me read this again. Quote, because I am healthy. Let me start from the beginning. She continued, quote, but I am disappointed and happy as well because I am healthy. I am injury free. Uh-oh. Looks like the narrative that she was injured doesn't quite add up in 2017. This is what we've been telling y'all. I got the proof from Elaine Thompson-Herah herself. What do you suppose caused her to mess up in the final? Whereas all the other rounds, Jamaican championships and other things, she was doing just fine. Well, so I have to just tie my shoe. Let's start at the beginning. Quote, but I am disappointed and happy as well because I am healthy. I am injury free. So I just have to tie my shoelace, pick myself back up, and just move forward. All right. Have I made my case? Now, I wouldn't be the person I am on this YouTube channel if I didn't give the full context of this. Here she is continuing. Quote, honestly, I don't know what happened. I would just have to go back and watch the replay. I stumbled and tried to get it back. I did not get it in the format that I wanted, but I tried not to panic, but to hold my form and go through. Now, the people that was here, now y'all over here trash talking Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. Didn't she stumble and try to get back at it? But then all of y'all saying, she picked too early. She picked too early. She picked too early. No, she's washed up. I see these comments. Y'all like hive minds or something like that. It's like yesterday y'all was on Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price's side, and then you forgot she ran against the headwind. And she ran a 1074, and she kind of gave it up at the end, probably because she was actually a little bit tired and worn out from stumbling on the third step, popping straight back up, accelerating too hard so that she could make sure that she tried to get in the lead and challenge Elaine Thompson-Herah. And then she kind of gave up a little bit. Had she ran a little bit harder, she would have been sub 10-7 right there with a normal win, with no headwind. With the headwind, she probably still would have been a 10-7-1 or something. But y'all haven't given her mercy at all. But here y'all are giving Elaine Thompson-Herah mercy. I'm going to hold them all accountable. All right. Now, I wouldn't say stumbling is choking. That didn't look like a stumble to me because I can bring in the next tombstone in this. She had the slowest reaction time out of everybody in the race. Remember Sha'Carri Richardson at USA Trials, the other person y'all love to hate, right? She came out, and in the final, she had the worst reaction time, or one of the worst reaction times there. She looked like she walked out of the blocks. She was distracted and everything. The final got to her. Okay. Now you could argue that her mother passing away could have been the case too. Now, like I said, you see, mentally, she wasn't there. That's the point. So that means Elaine Thompson-Herah vomited just a few minutes before, the nerves got to her hard. Now, here's the other thing. Like I said, now some of you already stopped listening. So you ain't going to get the context right here. You're not going to get the context because here's two things I got to say. You're going to see that some of y'all see the title, and I can see, obviously, some people just comment on the title. They don't watch. Other people watch to a certain part and then they stop watching. And then there are those of you that listen all the way through, and I can tell that at least you listen all the way through, because sometimes I give gems in here that only if you listened all the way through, maybe it's happenstance sometimes, you would get it. Here's the thing. Here's the part. She said, quote, it was a long season. I got this frame around that captures the screen so I couldn't see the T. Quote, it was a long season battling this Achilles injury, and it was part of this game tonight. I came out here to brave it out, and it didn't happen. The defeat is going to push me to work harder. Now, she pointed out. Now, she said she was battling an Achilles injury, which means it would have distracted some of her training. And she said that would have probably been part of the result tonight. But that wasn't what she was suffering. She was not suffering from an Achilles injury. She said it twice. She's healthy. She said, quote, because I am healthy, I am injury-free. And up here, she said, I am walking fine. My hamstring is great. She said it twice. That means the Achilles injury was bugging her throughout the season in other parts, as in maybe her training wasn't as hard. Think about Dalilah Muhammad. Her training got cut short. Had she not been injured, she would have, I can't see anything against it that she would not have beaten Sydney McLaughlin, because she was already ahead of her in shape. You saw how she recovered back from that. Yes, you can do amazing things with being injured, but she winded up not being able to get it, just barely. She got over all 10 hurdles before McLaughlin did, though. But here, that's what I wanted to present to you all. Now, what if, here's something to be fair, what if she suffered from that same virus that took Makwala out? Remember, there was a virus over there in London. And I think if you all recall, if we're being honest here, Makwala got taken out from that virus. Remember? Now, if that was the thing, if that was the case, maybe she vomited because she had that. Now, you see how I did that? You see how I did that? I didn't just say 100% it was that, but it was the British norovirus. Remember, it was a norovirus that was going on, and it took out Makwala. Now, he's obviously running over the 400 and stuff, and that's going to take a different neurological system. She's got a shorter race, but still, she might have been vomited from that. But here's the other side. She's done it at other championships. So that means maybe it's not the norovirus. I just wanted to put that in there, the perspective, the what ifs and everything. But this was clearly, I am convinced that this was nerves. If we ask her now, obviously she might refute it because she was like, no, it's not nerves, it's not nerves. But if you get it out of her mouth at that moment, right after the race, she said, quote, I'm walking fine, my hamstring is great. And then she said that she had no injuries, that she was healthy and everything. She said she was injury free. So that means, hey, she didn't have it. She just didn't have it. It happens sometimes, in my opinion, that's nerves. That's how her nerves. Safa Powell don't get a pass for that. You don't give a pass for the men that do that. Let's not give a pass for this fine, accomplished young woman, right? Let's not give a pass to this woman here for that one. She had nerves. She flubbed up. Now, in 2019, that might have been a different subject because she wasn't necessarily running as well. Now, she did at the Jamaican trials, though. But after that, she wasn't running as well. So maybe it flared up or she got re-injured. Because remember, once you get injured once, you're just not permanently injured. I got my hamstring pulled twice. And then now I got an Achilles problem. That I had a hamstring injury. It went away. I dealt with it. And then a year later, when I went into hard training again, like really hard training, a little bit too hard, then the hamstring injury came back, but it went away quicker. And now I got an Achilles injury Maybe because I overcompensated on it or something like that. But you gotta keep in mind that the injury just doesn't stay there permanently. All right. Catch you all on the next one. That's my case. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I don't think there's any other way to look at this. She said it out of her mouth. She was injury free. Nothing else was bothering her. She said she don't know what happened. So as far as that, it was nerves. And then she had a little bit of slipping. But the nerves got her to be off her game plan. She came out the block slow, which then allowed her to slip up. That's called nerves. And then from there, she just could not get back in the race. Now, if she did slip out of the blocks, it didn't look like it on the video, but I'm going to take her word for it. She still got out the blocks so slow. She looked pedestrian getting out of the blocks in the final. She looked like something was wrong with her before she even stepped foot on that race in the final. She looked different than the prelim. The pressure is on. You know it's a gold medal now. You know it's a chance to represent your country, to get a medal and have the weight of all the other country people on your back. That's different than the prelims and everything. She's been there before. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. Peace.